God said, God made, divided, called, said. God called, God said, saw. You see what I'm saying? He saw, he said, made, set, saw, said, created. The sea creatures created. All right, the birds. Now, it's very important that you understand that God blessed, God said, God made. All right? God created man in his own image. He created him male and female. He created them. Genesis 1:27. Created meaning to bring into existence. You know, God brought these things into existence. Now, God created everything that creeps upon the earth. And it's very important to understand that God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Meaning that the making of man was plural, right? And the concept of male and female predates man and woman. It's also important to know that God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Now, it's very important to listen that God said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food. Now God said, every beast of the earth, as opposed to the beasts of the field, which we're about to get into here. Now, God saw everything he had made, right? Now we go into Genesis 2, and it begins on the seventh day, where God ended his work, right? He was done. He rested. Then he blessed the seventh day and sanctified it because he rested. Now, listen look how this it says, God had created and made, as opposed to form. Remember, form means visible shape or configuration of something. Pause. All right, now you see that we're still concluding the history of the heavens and the earth. Okay, so this is still technically part of chapter 1. And you see how in chapter 2, God is used 3 times before the transition of Lord God, where Lord is added to God. Lord meaning master, someone or something having power, authority, or influence. It's a European word for master. You see, they came out of the UK, the United Kingdom, and adopted by the Christians. But the master with the Spirit of God, right, are 2 different things, 2 different entities, now unified, operating as one. Now, this says before any plant of the field was in the earth, meaning that there's a difference between the field and the earth, just like there's a difference between created, made, and form. You have field, earth, and ground. You see? You see the Trinity? God, Lord, Lord. You see, here we get to Lord is by himself. He's no longer walking with God. Now, what you have to ask is, what happened that separated from God and the Lord? Stay tuned for episode 2. when we get more into details. But until then, please leave your comments of what you've seen so far. Like, if you like what you saw, and please share. Get the word out, get the message out. This is what I get up in the morning thinking about, that and, the almighty dollar. Speaking of which, you can support this channel by purchasing a copy of one of my Bible study travel guides from illuminatednubians.com. There you can also join my email list so that I can send my content directly to you on a daily basis. And also, if you want to participate in our book club, our Bible study and travel book club, you can click on the Patreon link and join our Patreon. And it's a lot of benefits to doing so. A lot of exclusive content and connections with like-minded people. So it's very rare to find people who are really interested in this type of subject matter and getting into the details outside of religion. This is scholarship. This is not about religion. So this is about quality of life, right? Because with knowledge makes you unfit for slave, right? You reprioritize life, right? You see things differently. You get more out of life, more fulfillment, more joy. And so this is what it's all about at BlackSwanRadio.com. Peace. You see what I'm saying? And so it has something to do with what happened in Genesis 3. Because you see, Genesis 3, the Lord God was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife, they were able to hide themselves from the presence of the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. So then we have to question ourselves, right? Is it really a garden, right? So when we look up a garden and we look at the word garden, it tells us that it is a small piece of land, piece of ground used to grow vegetables, fruits, herbs, and flowers. A small piece of ground. But there was trees in the garden, so that's a conflict, right? If there's trees in the garden, then it could not be small. So what are we talking about here? Well, let's translate garden into plantation. And what is the definition of plantation? It's an estate on which crops such as coffee, sugar, and tobacco are cultivated by resident labor. The word Lord means master, and the word garden is used instead of plantation. So what are we talking about here? Well, again, 5, before any plant of the field was in the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. So here's the two problems in the story to begin chapter 2. There was no rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. So we know if it was God, the Spirit, who created and made the earth, he could cause it to rain. He could cause it to flood. He could cause an entire ice age to be consumed by the sun. But the Lord God did not have that capacity. He had authority. He had power. but not the ability to cause it to rain. All right? And there was no man to till the ground. We need labor to till the ground. Is hard work. It means to what? To prepare and cultivate for crops. Take the rocks out, the shrubs. All right. So, a solution. A mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. This is agriculture, right? Right? Here it says, now a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became 4 river heads. A river went out of Eden. A river went out of Eden to water the garden, and there it parted and became 4 river heads. What does that look like? Let's take a look in the book, Illuminated Nubian's Third Eye. It's a teaser, it's an introduction to chemistry, which is Kemetic mystery or Kemetic ministry. Now, when we look at the Nile River, which is being disclosed here in Genesis 2, right? It becomes 4 river heads in the south, what we call the south, from Kush to Punt, or in the Nile River Delta in the north. So either way you look at it, only the Nile River fits the description. And here's the kingdom of Kush. So only river that goes towards the east of Assyria. So let's get back. The name of the first is Paishan. It is the ones which skirts the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. So where can you, there's another trinity there. Where can you get gold, bdellium, and onyx stone from? Kush. The land of Kush. And who are we talking about in the land of Kush? We're talking about the southern part of ancient Nubian, first mentioned in the Egyptian records of the Middle Kingdom. In the Bible, it is the country of the descendants of Kush. What is he talking about? Genesis 10. Genesis chapter 10 says that the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Punt, and Canaan. Cush is the Nubians, the firstborns, right? Then you have Mizraim. Mizraim is the Hebrew and Aramaic name for the land of Egypt and its people. It is ascribed to one of the sons of the biblical figure Ham. This is what we're talking about. And then Punt, right? You have Punt here, right? Now, Punt, you see, is a land just south of Kush. Some people put Punt here in Libya. Whatever your belief is, it's in East Africa. All right? And then you have and Canaan. So the pattern that you see in the book is from Kush, Egypt, Canaan, the Nile River Valley. Okay? And if you can look closely here, it says the sons of Cush were Seba. Havilah is the second son, right? So Seba, Havilah, Septa, Rama, and Septeka, right? And the sons of Rama were Seba, Sheba, and Dedan. And we know where these are. Now, Cush begot Nimrod. He begot Nimrod. Nimrod was not considered the son of Cush, like Havilah was. But Nimrod began to be a mighty one on the earth. And he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Before the Lord. You see, not God. And the reason why is because the Lord came down and seen the city, right, which the sons of men had built, Nimrod and Nimrod's people, the sons of men, and Mem is the black fertility god.